Satoshi is an idea. Satoshi is a concept.
Is the Lightning Network scalable, and how much?
Okay, that's a tough question because we need to put some definition before we're talking about Lightning Network scalability. So Lightning Network is a second layer that is confound to the first layer, confound to the blockchain. It doesn't aim to endlessly scale the blockchain because it is dependent on the blockchain. So one analogy I like to use is to kind of correlate the Lightning Network to a zip file. So you can take multiple files and zip them into one zip file. And some files will be compressed into a single file. But it doesn't necessarily shrink them to zero, right? There's always a space that the files take. The Lightning Network is kind of zipping multiple transactions, multiple on-chain transactions to a single transaction. So, for example, when I interact with you in the Lightning Network, we're sending each other transactions. And when the core entity of the Lightning Network is a payment channel, the payment channel zips all the transactions that we execute together into a single on-chain transaction in case we want to close the channel. So we are dependent on the blockchain when we open the payment channel and when we close the payment channel. So the scalability of the Lightning Network depends on how many payment channels are being opened and closed. So yes, to answer your question, definitely the Lightning Network is scalable, but it's scalable in the limits of the first layer.
Could eCash be a solution for any trouble the Lightning Network could have?
Again, I think it comes down to scalability. So you're asking basically if eCash could be a mitigation to Lightning Network scalability issues. So the question, what is the goal? My goal is to enable people to do peer-to-peer transactions in a way that they don't need to trust any third party or any external entity in order to execute the transaction. eCash can't solve that because in eCash there's a basic layer of trust. You need to trust the issuer of the eCash. So I think it's a different type of solution. Lightning Network is Bitcoin. Every transaction in the Lightning Network is actually a Bitcoin transaction. So in that regard, I don't think eCash resolves any scalability issue. It offers a different solution for interacting with digital money, but it has nothing to do with the Lightning Network, and it has nothing to do essentially with Bitcoin.
Running a node is not easy for ordinary people. Are you working on a solution?
Great question. So in order to participate in the Lightning Network in a way that is that you minimize trust and reduce your trust in others, yes, you need to run your own node. And that's why we're trying, Breeze and other solutions in the market, we're trying to simplify that and to make it even seamless to the user. My ultimate goal, my end goal is to make Lightning Network an implementation detail. We don't want even users to be aware that there's something called Lightning Network. We're at a very, very early stage where we talk about technology, but end users, they don't care. They don't care about sovereignty as well. They don't care about not your keys, not your coins. If there's something I've learned in the past 5 years is that users don't care. They care when you bring utility. When you bring the utility of Bitcoin to them, then they care. When you can bank the unbanked, they care. When you can stream sats to podcasters, they care. When you can accept payments on the street, they start to care. So, but we need to obfuscate all the implementation details, all the complexity away from end users. And the way to do that is to let them run a node without them knowing that they're running a node. And that's what we've done at Breeze. The Breeze app, when you install and run the Breeze app, you're actually running a fully featured Lightning node on your mobile device. It still doesn't obfuscate all the complexities of the Lightning Network because it's still kind of clunky. It's kind of similar to the way you run VPN on your mobile device. Yes, tech-savvy users can run VPNs, but I don't know, my mother, if I'll tell her, okay, so install a VPN and run a VPN, she'll be completely confused. We're trying to bring Lightning to the level that anyone can use it without knowing that they're actually using it. I think what we're doing with Greenlight, where we have a node in the cloud and only the keys are running on the user device, there's a new hybrid approach of running nodes, simplifies everything in another order of magnitude. So you can install a software, or you don't even need to install a software. What will be the future of Lightning, that you'll have Lightning payment inside existing applications without you even knowing that you're using Lightning. So you'll start to see applications integrating Bitcoin transaction, and you won't even know that you're actually running a node somewhere in the cloud. I think that's the future that I envision for the Lightning Network.
Do you think that the Lightning Network could be a solution for unbanked people?
Definitely. So again, I just want to give you some confidence that Lightning Network is headed the right way, and people in developing countries will be able to use it seamlessly. And let's kind of drill down into it, and I'll try to explain why I think it will be possible. I think in 2024 you'll see solutions that are kind of at least on par with what custodial solutions has to offer in terms of usability, data consumption, all the things that you're worried about. What is a Lightning node? We need to ask ourselves, what is a Lightning node? So Lightning node is a piece of software. And this piece of software has 4 major functions. A Lightning node needs to monitor the chain. It needs to monitor the base layer in order to understand what is the status of the channels. So the thing that is very data consuming is the monitoring of the chain. Another function that is very the consumption of data is relatively high is the monitoring of the Lightning Network graph data, what we call the gossip information. It's the information about the channels, new channels, updated channels that is moving through the network. This is also kind of high in terms of data consumption. There are 2 more functions, the ability to sign transaction and the ability to preserve and persist the state of the channels. So what if we could take on-chain monitoring, gossip monitoring, and strip it away from the user? What if we can do that in the cloud? It's always running in the cloud. It doesn't run on user mobile devices, this part of the node. And just keep the signing and the channel state management to the mobile device, which is not intense operation in terms of CPU or data consumption. And you know what? We can do that right now. So in the Breeze SDK, we're actually leveraging a new platform called Greenlight from Blockstream, where the nodes runs in the cloud, but it's a hybrid approach because the keys are kept on the user mobile device. So there's a separation of responsibilities, and all the operations that are heavy to execute from a mobile standpoint are being executed in the cloud. And this is a core feature to what we do at the Breeze SDK. And I think it will get to a point where the user experience is on par with custodial solutions. So just a little bit of patience and you'll see solutions that are there in terms of user experience.
What makes the Lightning Network so great if compared to other layer 2 solutions?
I think Lightning Network currently is the only layer 2 solution in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we can ask what makes Bitcoin great, but we'll need the entire day in order to answer that. And I think Lightning Network has proven itself to be the only viable layer 2 solution that exists to date. There's nothing perfect. Lightning Network, I don't want to sound like a cheerleader for the Lightning Network. Like, I believe in this technology, but every technology has compromises. Every layer 2 solution has compromises, but we need to pick the right compromise. The Lightning Network, for example, a compromise in the fact that you need to be online in order to send and receive transactions. That one big compromise. It requires you to run a hot wallet and not a cold wallet. You need to be connected to the internet in order to send and receive transactions. That's one of the compromises. There are others, but I feel confident because I see the level of acceptance from normies, from regular users, from non-tech savvy users. I can see how they interact with the Lightning Network, and I see the increase in the number of transactions, the volume of transaction, the throughput of the transaction. So all the metrics are on the rise. That means there's adoption, and that makes me happy and confident in the Lightning Network.
If there is one question you could ask Satoshi, what would it be?
Nothing. I don't have anything to ask him. Satoshi is an idea. Satoshi is a concept. Satoshi isn't a person.
What do you like the most about Lugano so far?
I love Lugano. I love the city. I love cities that you can walk in and kind of explore and get lost. And Lugano is like that. And there's like hundreds of businesses that accept Bitcoin, which is amazing for a Bitcoiner. Everyone is nice. Everything is clean. Everything is punctual. So I love it so far.
What do you think about Lugano becoming a Bitcoin adoption hub?
I think Switzerland in general is special in the fact that it doesn't. It's unique in a sense that they don't follow U.S. regulation. They don't follow EU regulation. So in Switzerland in general, it's kind of a citadel, and Lugano is a citadel within a citadel. And the fact that the city of Lugano has partnered with Tether and all the project and the education project that now are being funded by Plan B, I think it's going to be amazing because I think the level of talent here is very high. And I think Lugano is a real life proof that you can have a circular economy in Bitcoin.
Did you have the opportunity to buy something with Bitcoin in Lugano?
I just bought a salami sandwich with Bitcoin.
What other cities can learn from the Lugano Plan B experience?
I think merchant acceptance is super important, meaning onboard the merchant, give them an easy way to accept Bitcoin. I think I've been to El Salvador several times. I think we can do a better job in El Salvador in terms of merchant adoption, merchant education. And we need to create products that just work. Like the point of sale solution that is implemented here by NACA, for example, maybe there are others, but the one that I interacted with are implemented by NACA, just works. I can't say that about Chivo in El Salvador. So I think we need to focus on user experience for end users, but foremost for merchants. I think that's one takeaway. Another takeaway is that you need this top level top down support. You need the city to encourage adoption. It can happen like with a grassroots initiative, and it can happen bottom up, but it's much more challenging. If you get the support of the city, then everything becomes much easier.
If you have to convince someone to go to Lugano, what will you tell them?
I want to come again to Lugano when the weather is better and it's not raining so much. So when I'll come to Lugano, I'll bring more Bitcoiner friends here, and yes, definitely.